Ready, set, go.
Okay. The way I like to do this, I like to submerge my seeds. Enough water. Like they're all in there. But not like a ton of water that there's just like a ton of seeds. You know what I mean? They're not. It's like the perfect swamp, seed swamp. And then the recipe is 1 part seeds, 2 parts compost. Because you don't want too much compost or else it won't stick together. And 5 parts clay. So
5 parts clay,
5 parts clay.
2 parts
2
soil.
parts compost, 5 parts clay, enough water to submerge my seeds.
Enough water to submerge.
So I'm gonna like 1, 2. Approximate 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Approximately. Hang on, I need to get a spoon.
Two handfuls, 5 handfuls of clay, red clay, fine powdered clay,
Yes,
in a wooden bowl
That's
or
a
any
good
kind
one.
of bowl.
keep playing that.
Water, snuff swampy
That Amir
seeds
Kusturica?
water. Then you get a wooden spoon.
Get a wooden spoon and mix it around because this is kind of like baking. It's pretty similar to baking.
It's like chocolate, but it's full of the earth.
This is earth.
Earth chocolate.
Yeah, it's earth chocolate. Exactly. Actually, a couple of times when we've handed these out, because we've been handing these out for the last like 2 years, there was this old professor at the left forum that ate one, and he was like, "That was delicious." And I was like, "Oh my god, this dude just ate a seed ball." So this is really red, which tells me I need more black. It's sort of an approximation science.
You don't want it too red. You want it like brown.
Yeah, you want it brown. Because
Put
you
more.
need like the
Another
compost
handful.
to cook it in there. I like to mix it in completely, and it's a gradual process. It's really beautiful too, the way it's caking in. It's kind of like when you make nut bars, but they're seed balls. You know what I mean? This is way too wet still. Sometimes the compost goes, or the clay really goes a long way. Ooh, see now? See how it's catching it?
Yeah.
And starting to kind of ball up and be a thicker texture? That's more of what you want. See, I always base the mixture on the water level because I want the seeds to be submerged first because it wakes them up. It's like, oh, hey, little seed, remember this? Remember that water that brings you to life? You let it soak for a little bit, it starts to wake it up. But we're just making them so that they dry. So we're really just mixing it together so we can roll them into balls. This is a lot of seeds per ballage.
Isn't there usually a lot?
It's usually a lot, but these are bigger seeds, so I'm actually going to have to make this batch like,
So it can like encompass
Bigger.
the seed.
yeah, I'm actually going to have to continue to put material in here for a little while. I'm also going to put in more water because it's like I just need a greater volume of stuff around the seeds. Oops. It's messy.
It happens.
You know, nothing is perfect.
Getting dirty is part of the
Nothing is
flow.
perfect. Making seed ball mess. Ooh, see, there's a white bean. You see all the little corn bits and stuff too. I'm gonna need a whole bunch more of this. Like volume-wise.
Another 2 handfuls, more clay.
This volume.
And it's like 1.5 handfuls. About a cup and a half just went in there. So having big mixing bowls are important.
Yeah, big mixing bowls and wooden spoons I find are the easiest because you can just like do it like cake batter. And it's already a familiar like process to people, baking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baking is a familiar process to all cultures. Or like mixing or cooking. It's just that same type of mentality.
So we just, like we're going to cook, but instead of eating it, we're
Growing.
creating our abundance.
Exactly. Now I've got grass in there. I need the grass. But we can use the grass actually.
You
to
said
garden.
these are like cement proof, like they could grow on cement, but it's always wise to have water around to like take care of the seed ball that you just intended to give life to.
Well, it depends on the situation. Like, they're designed so that they'll stay dry until it rains. And then once the rain falls, it'll do its thing. So, I mean, like, it's not going to grow in a drought if it doesn't rain, but, like, it'll still be totally fine until it does rain. So once it totally rains, it'll take root. So it's like we don't need to waste our water supply on that because we have to use the water to make them. And we need water to drink. So our water supply is more important for the making of them and drinking of them than it is for the immediate activation of them. Like Mother Earth will get to it. Let's not be crazy.
How long do they last? Like forever until she gets to it?
Once they're dry, they're dry. I mean, they're more dry.
What does that mean?
Boom! Crash!
That means they sprout.
No, once they're dry into these hard balls. They're hard, like, ceramic balls.
And like, can the water ever get it out?
The what?
Like enough rain, could it ever sprout the seed, even though it's in like a hard ball?
Yeah, like you've seen the seed balls. I mean, they're these round, hard things. I should have brought some up.
But like from your like experience of like making seeds and like maybe not like using them for like a year or like they just didn't get water, have you experimented
As
like
long as they're dry, like once they're dry, as long as they're dry,
it's
they're
okay?
fine. Yeah, it's just dry seeds and a dry material.
And right now it's
But
wet and it's
if they
gonna
get
dry.
moist, they'll just all that's gonna happen if they get moist, like if they're in a Tupperware container and there's moisture in there, is they're just gonna start to sprout. Like your plants are just starting to grow in a bucket, so you have to like throw them out because they're sprouting.
And hot heat creates sprouting on a more efficient
Water and heat. creates
water.
sprouting.
Heat.
So if you want them to sprout, you can put them in a Tupperware container. They just like a little bit of water or something that's moist, like a banana peel or something. They take the moisture out of it. You should suck out a banana peel into them and they start to sprout. You just need a little bit of
The
moisture.
banana will suck out the moisture?
Like the dryness of the seed balls will suck the moisture out of the banana.
Yeah.
Because the moisture will become part of the internal ecological system of that contained space. It becomes a circular system. So it's going to pull out in order to put in. These are far too much earth. Far too much earth. It's far too much texture I'm after.
Could I like go in with my hand? Oh no, I'm recording, I guess.
You're recording. Otherwise, I would say yes. You should get it with your hands. The point is to get it with your hands.
I wish somebody could record it so I could do it.
Well, you have to do it once we're done recording. So we only have to make a couple of these to prove the point of what we're doing here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is about the right texture. She's a little bit wet still. Just a little bit. You want it to be like moist. Not wet. It shouldn't stick to your hands. You shouldn't have to like fluff
Put
off.
flour on it so that it doesn't stick.
Well, yeah, I mean you could do that. Like, I did cover my hands with dirt before I started. It is kind of that same situation, but it's like
Cover your hands with dirt, not flour. Because
yeah.
your dirt is your
No
flour.
reason to, yeah, exactly. Like, when it rolls, it should just be able to roll. You know, like, see how when it rolls and stuff gets on my hand, but, like, stuff doesn't really get on this other hand because it's the right texture. And, like, if it's too moist, it'll stick and you can't roll. So, like, the point is to get it to a texture where you can
First seed
just lob it together and roll it. Hairs in my face. You just need to, like, compact it ever so slightly. And it's, like, totally fine.
Massaging of the seed balls. Intentional seed balls.
Love bombs for the pipeline. This is how we can start to reclaim our food supply. If we have seeds, we can control our food supply. We don't have access to our seeds right now. Monsanto has them all. They bought every company that was a seed distributor that they could, so they could stranglehold us. And if we throw our own food supply, and then harvest the seeds from these, next season, we have seeds for the people.
Harvest the seeds next season.
Yeah.
So the classes and the education keeps going, you know? You're never not learning.
Well, it's more that when you plant a plant in the first season, you can choose to do a couple of things. You can harvest it for its food, or you can let it flower and go to seed. Some seeds are inside of plants, like squash seeds are inside of squashes, sunflower seeds inside of the head of them. And when they dry, you can take their seeds and dry them out, and you have them. So we have to plant it in order to get the seeds. It's the first issue. So whatever we plant this year, we can harvest the seeds at the end of the season for next year's food supply. Which means that in order to have food next year, to emancipate ourselves from Monsanto, we have to plant food this year. So it's about understanding how slow nature works. And she has her own rhythm, and you have to follow her. Or else, I mean, we may just never be free, for one, and if there is a food shortage, we don't have any control over it. We don't have the ability to feed people.